Well, hello everyone. My name is Ganon11. Frosty is also here. Hello, Frosty.
Hello. I think you're looking for me, but I have a whole swath of people behind me that we can also join in too.
Yeah, there's a big crowd behind you. We'll get to them in a second. The very first thing I want to do is ask, I did hear a donation come in over the break. Could you maybe read the donation comment there?
I did, and I was hearing you on donation on like additional commentary just with Ryan Ford a few minutes ago that you would hate for Dread Mode.
I'd really hate to do Dread Mode.
Well, it seems here from Fleenop with 3110, make Ganon suffer Dread Mode. Thanks, Mojo.
All right, let's go for it. So, Dread Mode, the ultimate challenge where I will die in one hit to anything. As the intro video plays, let me talk about what we're doing here. This is Side Quest Dampe's Twilight Tour. We are playing a bunch of spooky games the weekend before Halloween, because we think spooky games are kind of fun. And also, of course, we're the Kinstone team. We're raising money for charity. We are supporting Gamers Outreach, a group that provides video game console kind of mobile setups that can get wheeled around hospitals and let kids have a fun time playing video games and relaxing and kind of taking their mind off of the fact that they're in a hospital and maybe that's not the greatest time. They can enjoy themselves playing some video games. It's going to be great. Unlike playing Dread Mode, which is not going to be great. I have some small incentives for $9.99. You can activate the gravity suit and let me experience just the 3D effect of water, aka I'll spritz myself in the face with this water bottle. And then Frosty, this whole crowd of individuals behind you really wants to introduce themselves and kind of get a word in edgewise on the stream. Can you tell us a little bit about your incentive?
There's a lot of computers we've developed, in the spirit of Metroid. There's a lot of advanced technology. There's a lot of artificial intelligence. And so I feel like we can bring some of them in to maybe read one of your donations, to read some of the dialogue or something like that. Okay,
yeah. And how much would they donate for that to happen?
$19.99 to Gamers Outreach.
All right, so $19.99 to Gamers Outreach. And again, all of your donations go directly to Gamers Outreach. I don't make a penny off of this. Frosty doesn't make a penny off of this. Mel, who is setting up our tech, doesn't make a penny off of this. None of the people on the Zeldathon team make any money off of this. It all goes directly to the charity. Very, very glad to support them and glad to direct your donations to them. That's what we're all about. So $19.99 will get that donation read by one of our computerized AI crowd behind Frosty. Let me put the spray bottle in prime spraying position. Anyway, this intro crawl is basically saying, hey, in Metroid Fusion, we eliminated all the X-Parasites, but then someone sent us a video of an X-Parasite on the planet ZDR. We sent some really advanced robots called Emmys out to try and figure out what was going on, but we lost contact with them, so now we're being sent in. And we're playing on Dread Mode, so energy tanks don't matter. We're going to die in one hit, which means I have to play this very carefully. Brother Oron, let me check the list here. It says that, no, you do not make any money off of this. Only Gamer Outreach makes money when you donate.
Wow, that's like a really nice Santa Claus list. Naughty or nice, and the only one nice is Gamers Outreach.
Look, everyone else is also nice because they're the ones donating.
True.
It's a nice or nice list.
I like how the way you preface the story, by the way, with all the Emmys. It's like setting a prank call. Like, hey, bro, you forgot one.
Missed one. Like, dang it. Here's the voice of Adam.
The bounty for this mission does not seem appropriate.
Good job, Adam.
Clearly outweighs the reward.
Saying like, this is a bad idea, Samus. Why are you flying into a completely unknown territory where someone leaked a video of an X-Parasite and also defeated our super strong robots, the Emmys? But we're fully powered. We're going in there with all our missiles. We're going in there with our Varia suit. Also, we're Samus Aran. Like, we can handle this. No problem.
This game is really nice looking.
You know that Yamcha meme, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew. That's amazing.
So this is the most recent Metroid game. It came out just about 1 year ago. This is Metroid Dread. This is a dang good looking game. And I really, really strongly recommend it. If you haven't played it yet, it's available on the Switch. It looks so good. It plays so smooth. I don't recommend Dread mode, but I recommend playing on Rookie or Normal or Hard if you like a little bit of a challenge. But this game is great, and I'm really excited to be able to show it off. It definitely matches the mood of Dampe's Twilight Tour in that this is kind of a spooky game. We're kind of being chased by super powerful things. So anyway, this is a little bit of a flashback. We still got time to read that donation.
We do. While Samus is figuring out who to shoot, we got $20 from JArtist1. Lonk looks funny. When do you get the triangles? Much love to Ganon 11.
Well, see, you got to beat the 3 Raven Beaks to get the 3 Triforces of power. Yeah, so we come down this elevator down to like the core of the planet, and there's this dude in bird armor who just immediately opens fire on us. But we're no stranger to, a challenging fight, although he seems to be immune to all of our attacks. No worries. We remember the melee counter we have.
Remember your close quarters combat.
Remember your CQC. All right, what do we do if someone has us in a chokehold and is charging a massive beam to try and kill us? That's right, look directly into the beam.
Quick, translate it.
I unfortunately do not speak this language. And then something happened, and now here we are without any of our powers.
And your suit turned blue.
Yeah, my suit turned blue. We lost our various suit. And that is the intro to Metroid Dread. So, let's get started. Alright, so we're on Dread mode, which means a single hit will kill me, even from the first enemies we face, so I'm going to be playing it real careful. Oh, right, there was an enemy there.
Smooth.
Yeah. There's an enemy there.
There's an enemy right over there. Have you played this in Dread mode before?
Sure haven't.
I was about to ask my second question, which was, if you have,
okay, we're fine.
Did you die to the first enemy?
Yeah. So far we're making it. We're making it. We're doing it okay.
Making good progress.
A slot that perfectly fits our arm beam.
Uploading data.
It seems to be a room where we can upload data and communicate maybe with Adam on the surface.
So you've access to the
Adam?
state. I've run a full log ever thought that brings me. I have determined this.
So Adam is saying a lot of stuff. I'm going to speed through because I want to get to the game. I am going to save because Dread mode. Adam is saying, hey, I don't know who that person is who attacked you, but they look like a bird, and the only bird people I know are Chozo. Chozo are supposed to be extinct, or at least just gone from this part of the galaxy. So that's weird.
Ganon, why would you skip all of my dialogue? I've worked very hard for this dialogue. Please do not skip it in the future.
I do what I want, Adam. You're not in charge of me. We covered this in Other M.
How did Adam get on the stream?
Someone must have donated $19.99 or more.
Or more.
This is saying, hey, there's going to be a hidden thing, which you will be able to find somewhere in this area. It's a Miskel tank. All right, this is the part that was showing off in all the trailers. Something approaches. Something wicked this way comes.
Oh, that is fighting.
Giant clawed feet. It looks angry. Oh, it's tall. just get out of here.
Just slide under it.
Fortunately, it's missing one of its arms, so it can't climb up after us. So for now, we're safe. What's in the next room? Here's where I'm probably gonna die. Ah! No! The Emmys can't speak. No, they couldn't be too scary. Yeah, so this is one of the cores from GLaDOS. It's dead, so we're just gonna absorb its energy. And that made our beam turn red.
Whoa.
That's cool.
Red beam.
So it's explaining we've got the Omega beam by absorbing the energy from that brain thing. Oh, and I missed, so that's cool. All right, fortunately the Omega beam seems to be powerful enough to defeat the Emmys. But we seem to only unlock it when we found one of those defeated brain things, and it seems to only be good for one Emmy killing. Well, we've survived one of the Emmys. I think they sent like 7 to the planet, so, you know, we may only have to deal with 6 more. Let's go ahead and save.
You'll rue the day you crossed me, Ganon.
Yeah, whatever. I beat one of you, I can beat the rest of you. Where's the cake? I'm sorry, Okami Hylia. I regret to inform you that if you were told there would be cake, you may have been lied to. All right, so this little kind of shifting door thing indicates that we're going into an Emmy zone where Emmys are.
How very Dark Souls like.
Is it?
You enter through the boss door.
Oh yeah, it's a fog wall. This is where things are gonna get dicey. Because this one ain't broken.
Oh, the other one was broken.
Oh, look at how it like unfolds itself. Oh, it's so creepy. Ugh. Yep, get out of here, Samus. Ah, he's too big. He can't fit through the little gap here.
They really nailed that aesthetic of the creepy, sort of dreadful vibe.
Dreadful? Dreadful?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, get out of here. Okay. Can't make it through that door. Can't make it through this door, but we can pick up these missiles. And let's talk to Adam a little bit more. Yo, what's up, Leslie Pro? Thank you for raiding with a party of 1. Welcome to Side Quest Dampe's Twilight Tour. Adam's just saying, like, look, if you try and fight an Emmy right now, you're going to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to die. So don't try. And I agree. So we're not going to try.
But again, in your dread mode, you have to try.
I really, truly do not have to try. So we don't even have our morph ball right now, which means we can't get through the little tunnels that we're seeing all over the place, which is unfortunate because we sure would like to. I think this is the first opportunity we have to actually move around where the Emmy is. And I think it's below us. Don't come up. Don't come up. Why did you come up? All right, well. Yeah, whenever an Emmy catches you, you have 2 extremely brief opportunities to do a melee counter on them and escape. They gave us one for free with the first Emmy, but after that, there's like a like rotating cycle. Well, I don't even want to say a rotating cycle. There's basically a collection of random possible ways that you can counter the Emmy, and it's different each time. And it's not straightforward which one you're going to get, and so it's very difficult to plan for it. So I got caught up. I wasn't able to melee counter the Emmy, and we got. Unfortunately, we currently are faster than it, or at least fast enough to be able to evade it, and we got through that time.
How tight are those windows of opportunity for countering?
I haven't learned to speedrun this game, so I don't know like frame count, but it's very tight.
Damn.
Yeah, so I don't want to say like it's frame perfect or it's 2 frames or 3 frames or whatnot, but it is difficult to get. How come Adam's allowed to be a ball? We can't. Well, Adam wasn't attacked by Raven Beak, so Adam didn't have all his power stolen.
Adam could be
I assume
the
not.
Metroid, but not Metroid herself.
Oh, I bet I could get that. I just need to bait this guy into attacking me. I want these missiles. Basically just to show off. The game really doesn't want me to get them. If I don't get them soon, I'll just leave. Yeah, it doesn't want me to get them. We're fine. We don't need missiles that bad.
If you were playing in hard mode, you probably could have gotten it.
Okay. Yeah, probably. All right, so we want to get up through that door. We can't make it because we're not good at jumping through the water, which is why I wish I had the gravity suit, because it lets me move through the water freely, even when I'm surrounded by water. And again, $9.99, you can let me experience the gravity suit. I also wish I could get through there.
Like Canon experience the gravity suit, which is $9.99.
$9.99 donated to Gamers Outreach, and I can experience the gravity suit in real life. Leslie Pro says it's a few frames. Okay. Yeah, Hap, I think there probably is no point to health upgrade, so I'm not going to go out of my way to try and get them. At least in Dread mode. We'll just cheekily download the map and save. Again, terrified of every enemy in this game now.
So if you die even once, you have to go back to the last save checkpoint?
It does checkpoint when you enter an Emmy zone. So it's a little bit generous. But yeah, basically if I die anywhere in like not an Emmy zone, I will have to go back to my last save point. Oh, hey, look at that. Got it anyway. Okay, where am I supposed to go? Probably down there. I'm just trying to be extremely careful because, again, anything can kill me. In rookie mode and normal mode, you can kind of just fly through some of these areas, and it's a ton of fun to be able to just power through as fast as possible, killing everything in your path. But we are not strong enough to do that right now, and there's an enemy chasing us. I heard a fun noise.
You did hear a fun noise, which is Avi with 998.
Oh, what my gravity
I just
suit.
love Ganon so much. My gravity is pushing him down.
Okay, look you. Stop shooting whatever that was. Okay, so that is a cold area behind that door. We have lost our Varia suit, so we cannot go into a cold area.
You do not have temperature regulation in that
No.
suit?
I lost my jacket.
Lost your jacket. Oh no.
There's a thing on the floor.
You lost your jacket and you died. The worst two
I
things.
stubbed my toe on a slug enemy, and so I died. Okay, so it also seems to quick save after you exit an Emmy zone. So we're not too far back. I believe this was the room. Fortunately, getting a melee counter does not count as getting hit.
Wow, well done.
Well done. That sounded like a donation.
It did. Avi with 1999 accidentally hit 998. Boost this.
All right, well, I guess we can meet someone from the crowd behind Frosty.
We can. And is that... hey, Gannon.
Yeah?
I have a very important question.
Yes.
What happens if there's an Emmy behind me?
Don't tell them where I live. Don't tell them where I am in the game. Just don't speak to them. Wait, Frosty? Frosty?
Gannon 11, I know where you are. You have left my zone, but you will enter it back soon enough.
But I really don't want to.
I have powered up all my minions to hit you. You won't try.
I don't think you have any. It's still scary. I'm still scared.
I totally have minions, Gannon 11. You cannot trick me.
I got the microphone back. Don't trust whoever that voice is.
You pulled off the melee counter to get your microphone back. Well done.
I pulled off the melee counter.
Oh, that
it
was a
was
close
8 frames, like the chat said.
Nice. Well done. I'm proud of you. Where am I going? Am I going there? Oh, I'm going there. Okay, we're fine. Everything is fine. Okay. Pretty sure that guy can reach out and get me. Oh, I'm going right here.
I just wonder what Gannon's up to.
Ah, Zacharaz.
Hey, Gannon.
Yeah?
You gotta activate your gravity suit.
All right, gravity suit on. That way I can move freely, even when covered in water. Perfect.
That was 999 from Zacharaz. Always happy to help.
Love it. Thank you for the help. I feel cool and refreshed now. And now I need to basically go down. So another trip through the Emmy zone. We're gonna try and avoid being seen by the Emmy, but the Emmy is unfortunately pretty cruelly placed sometimes.
Is it random where the Emmy is placed?
It's somewhat random. There used to be a lot more enemies here.
Maybe they're trying to lure you into a safe spot, and then they'll ambush
You know what? I want to save here. Because I'm pretty sure I remember what's coming up. Would anyone like a boss fight where I'm going to die in one hit? Because that's about to happen. Oh boy, don't hit me. Suddenly this game is a bullet hell.
It really can be sometimes, huh?
Okay. I think this is the right way to go. Lots of fire back there. I also didn't bring my sunglasses, so I can't handle hot zones yet. Of which, that's a hot zone. And that's a hot zone. Weird little thing.
What happens when you try to go to the hot zone without your sunglasses?
I'm pretty sure I would just get baked alive.
Oh, goodness.
Because you take damage continuously when you're in a hot zone and you don't have the various suit. And one hit will kill me. So I'm pretty sure I just die.
I love imagining just like entering through the other side of that transition zone or the corridor and be like, ugh, and then you die.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of the first thing that happens in a lot of this game is we're basically finding these types of consoles and we are redirecting thermal flow. It's basically just pushing lava around, and lava is used, I guess, for geothermal power. And so that powers up this door, which opens it for us. And now we follow the magma tube, which is like following the yellow brick road, but a lot more dangerous.
Lava is known for one-hit kills in real life, too.
If you die to lava in the game, you die to lava in real life. That's not actually true.
The bad omen.
All right, we'll talk to Adam again. I did make it through the Jaff battle.
Uploading data.
There's a story there. It's kind of negative, so I'm not going to tell it here, but you can look it up if you're interested. So just so you know, you, Frosty, and then everyone else knows the plan. There is absolutely zero way I'm going to beat this game in the time allotted to me. That's just the facts. I am not a speedrunner of this game, and I cannot beat it in an hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to play it for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then at around 8 o'clock Eastern, so in about 20 minutes, I'm going to cut off the Dread mode run. We're going to cut over to my hard mode run, and I'm going to show you all the final boss, because I think the final boss fight is pretty cool. All right, but here's a little bit of a boss fight. It's a giant brain, but this one hasn't already been defeated.
We were shown a cutscene at the beginning. Are those Sonic rings?
These are, I think, enemies from Metroid 1, and I believe they're called Rinkas. Oh, I'm out of missiles.
Oh no.
Okay, we're fine. We defeated the giant brain, and everyone knows that when you defeat giant brains, you get to absorb their power.
Something absorbing all their knowledge.
That's right. So earlier, all we had to do was kind of charge up a big shot. Now we have one more mode where we can kind of shoot a rapid fire beam that will melt off the armor plating around these doors and also around the enemies. So now we just got to find a nice, flat, open spot where we can goad the Emmy into coming down a straight line for us. I think this is good. I just need to make sure he's not coming from behind me. Which, at this point, I think he is. No? There he is! Alright, so we're gonna melt the face off. And then we're gonna run!
Oh, that's
All right,
real cool. You defeated a fully powered one.
Whoa, okay. And again, when you defeat bosses, you get to absorb all of their knowledge. And this one had the knowledge to climb on top of walls and ceilings as long as they're glowing blue. It's called the spider magnet.
And we know spiders can only climb on glowing blue walls.
I mean, I've only seen spiders on my glowing blue walls in my home.
Based on real life tendencies.
Yeah.
Good
So,
job,
yeah.
game developers.
These walls can now be climbed by us, which isn't a huge mobility upgrade, but it is enough of one that it will unlock a couple new areas for us. Not up there, though. So this game does a really good job of kind of subtly guiding you to where you're supposed to go. So we kind of found just a path of blue walls and a door that's not active. And it's leading us straight up here out of the Emmy zone and through this missile expansion. So that incentivizes me even more to want to grab this. And just like all these little things are like, yeah, absolutely, you'd want to explore with your new ability and you'd want to get the new upgrade that leads you directly down the correct path to go. Which makes this game actually really quick, even if you're playing it for the first time. You can just kind of follow the subtle guidance and get to where you need to go. Oh boy, not my baby toe. Open up that shortcut for myself later if I ever continue this Dread mode run.
Those spider walls remind me of the magnet zone from like Twilight
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same idea. It is kind of explained to be magnetic. All right, so here we got a big old statue. Looks like it was holding something, but it's not currently holding anything. In previous Metroid games, as you probably saw in Metroid Fusion, and maybe once earlier in this game, Chozo statue. Oh, who is this? Who invited you? Aha! You are weak to missiles in the face. We're going to use that fact to great effect.
First instance of someone
shoot,
being...
that has a wider area effect than I thought.
Well, it turns out you're also weak to missiles in the face.
Well, yeah. That was a very goopy, smelly missile. Honestly, I'm doing better at Dread Mode than I thought I was. Than I thought I was going to do. Oh, I have to kill this guy again? Alright. That is another I-beam door. Again, saw those a lot in Fusion. Ooh, I want it to be on the inside of that.
Well, that's a quick animation.
Oh boy. I thought I got hit there. Uh-oh. It's gone invisible. Alright. So, recent Metroid games have kind of taken a lot of cues from the Dark Souls style of games in that all their boss fights are kind of like pre-programmed and go through different attack modes, and they have really well choreographed attacks. So you can kind of learn how these bosses go and get better at them as you go. In short, you can get good. Also, melee counters let you do cool animations like this.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, Mercury Steam made this game, and they made the previous, they also made the Metroid 2 remake, and they added melee counters there, and it's just super cool. Oh, it was still smelly. I was trying to look for the next attack and not paying attention. All right.
We all know that Samus does not like stinky.
I mean, she dies in one hit to smelly things. All right, so this may very well be where we spend the rest of this time. It's just trying this boss.
Simply get good, forehead.
I'm working on it. Oh, I want it to be on the inside. So the reason I want to be on the inside for this attack is because he sits there trying to like get his tail. Oh, I did it again. He sits there trying to get his tail out for a little bit, which gives you a free opportunity to hit him a few times.
What's the tell for when he does that chopping bit?
He'll do that, but I screwed that up. He'll kind of like lift his tail up a little bit, kind of like a scorpion, but I'm so used to thinking like, oh, he's doing an attack, I should back up, that I'm not in the mindset of getting on the inside of that. All right. Then the eye door killed me. Fortunately, they got rid of the RNG for the kind of goopy doors. It's no longer, a 0 to 4 beam arrangement. It's just kind of get close enough and he lashes out at you and you melee counter it. But I missed the cue that time.
I do like how there's a little flash that here's your counter opportunity.
Yes.
You did it.
Yeah, so we get just a couple free hits off. I want to back up for the stinky attack. I did it again. That's the tail swipe attack. That's the stinky attack. Oh, but we shortcut it. You can still hit his face while he's invisible like this. You just kind of suss out where it is. For this one, it's okay that I got on the outside because that gets me a few free hits against the tail.
Is it faster to go against the tail or the face here?
I think the face, because the face is doing actual damage to him, whereas the tail, I think, just gets him out of this. Well, you know, I don't know. I haven't really studied the speedrun for this. I haven't watched too many people who speedrun this. The few Metroid speedrunners I know are, they gave this a shot, like they played it for maybe a month or two after it came out, and then I think they mostly just got back to like Super Metroid and Zero Mission and stuff like that. It just holds their attention a little bit more. Oh, I'm out of misses.
Gotta be careful. That's silent but
I
deadly.
got very lucky there.
Oh, yeah, he was right there.
I got... Oh, and I got him. Remember, everyone, if a character doesn't have lines, do they really have characterization? He said incredibly sarcastically. Get got, Corpius. So that was Corpius. And the only reason I beat him is
Corpseus.
yeah, now he's a Corpseus. Brother Orange, don't ask questions. Anyway, so this is kind of the core upgrade of the game. This is the Phantom Cloak, and this is going to let us go invisible for a short period of time. And even the Emmy can't detect us when we're invisible. Asterisk. If the Emmy has already detected you, it's going to zero in on your location no matter what. But if it hasn't detected you, you can go invisible, and it will not be able to tell where you are. And that's also going to work against these doors. So these doors have been closing every time I get close to them. But now, if I go invisible, they don't know that I'm getting close to them.
Ooh, that's cool. And like how you said to you earlier, the subtle guidance.
Yeah.
You better go to a cellar that sells weaker potions.
Ooh, I wish I had any potions. What was that donation?
That's $9.22 from Betsy. Just checking the sound eyes emoji.
Hi, Betsy. Was the sound pleasing? Did it meet your expectations? Oh boy, that guy almost killed me. We're fine. Everything is fine. Where am I going now? Yes, I'm going straight to the right. Also, the map in this game is fantastic.
Good.
I just
The
want
map
to say
design here is really awesome.
yeah, the map is like incredibly precise. It shows you exactly what type of door there is at each point. Anson is online, by the way. That is a friend from college. I hope he's doing well. So yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that, well, Betsy did donate for, like, if we have any of the strongest potions, but an invisibility potion's pretty strong.
Ooh, that's a good point. Please don't kill me. Can I get any of these guys over here? I think I'm just going to have to kill them on my way across this elevator thing. Okay, I got it. There's a big boy down
Samus
there.
is mimicking a spider climb right here, right now.
Exactly. Oh,
One
good.
hand
Oh,
on
good.
the ceiling.
Okay. I don't know why that guy didn't fly all the way to me. All right, so we had kind of a horizontal elevator to take us across the ceiling, and now we have an actual elevator, which I guess is going like diagonally. So we were in the starter area, Arteria. We are now going to the second area, Catarus. There are 9 areas in this game, and they're all named with the first 9 letters of the alphabet. But unfortunately, it's so frustrating, you don't visit them in alphabetical order. So we go from A to C to D, back to C, back to A, to D to B, and then so on. But you do get to the I area last. So
I was hoping B would have been last.
B emoji last. All right, there's a door to our right, and I don't like doors. Fire's going to kill me. Okay. Come on, you don't want to fly through the fire, little bug thing? Oh, that robot almost got me. Oh, that robot did get me.
That robot did get you.
It did get me. I tried to drop down to do a melee counter because I didn't think I was going to survive not melee countering him, but I didn't melee counter in midair. So, okay. We'll do this area again. The area to the right of here has a door to it, but it ends up, if I remember correctly, it ends up just being a loop that doesn't get you anything or anywhere. And so it's faster to just know that and not go that way. So just know the layout of the game, forehead.
Merrick's Bob says, and yet this area has a distinct lack of cats. Can you confirm?
I can confirm. I have not seen a single cat in this game, and it's very frustrating.
No cats and Cataris? That's like a crime.
Yeah, this is not a hot door. Ooh, it's a safe room. All right, we got a little bit more time before we cut over to just fighting the final boss.
That door is very modest, thank you.
Yes.
CPR, I have Sam. I know there is the Phantom.
Now Adam is just going to obsess about the Phantom Cloak for a while. He's like, look, the Phantom Cloak is literally your only way you're going to survive if you find any more enemies. And I try and use the Phantom Cloak as seldomly as possible because you move slow, and while the enemies can't tell where you are, they still do kind of like wander around aimlessly, and they can just wander straight into you. And that's very frustrating. Like, I'm invisible. You're not supposed to be able to tell... Oh, well, I melee counter too early. Like, you're not supposed to be able to tell where I am, but you can still just randomly wander into me. So I don't happen to like the Phantom Cloak, but it is a very critical upgrade that I will still use as often as necessary.
Can you jump with the Phantom Cloak?
Yes, but not at full speed. And that time I did it too slow. I'm just going to missile that guy. You can't jump at full speed, and you don't walk at full speed. You may have seen that when I walked through some of the doors earlier. So not only is it slower to move with the Phantom Cloak, but the Phantom Cloak also takes that yellow bar of energy that's just up there, and if you move, it takes it up faster. So if you're moving, you're actually invisible for less time. That said,
okay.
I'm still going to move while invisible at times. Okay, no more messing around.
No more Mr. Wise Guy.
Except for all the messing around that I've done. But other than that, there's no more messing around. I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? That's just a good movie. All right, come here, little things. Well, I go for early bombs for Kraid. I have learned exactly 0% of any of the sequence breaks of this game. I pretty much played this game like 4 times in the first 2 weeks that it came out to get all of the gallery unlockables, which hopefully we'll have enough time to show off. In fact, I'm actually going to cut over to the boss early because I want to have time to show off some of the unlockables. Let's see if I can quit out of this game. Is there a way to quit? Yeah, system. Oh, system and actually select it. So that was a small taste of Dread Mode. We're going to cut way ahead in the game, bump it back down to hard mode, and fight the final boss in the game. So, spoiler alert from here on out for any of the upgrades I get, and also who the final boss is. If that matters to you, now is the time to depart the stream. We'll see you back here in like another half hour for the next segment, which is Return of the Obra Dinn, hosted by Shadow Temple. So that's going to be super cool. Stick around for that. All right, now that all the people who care about spoilers are gone, the final boss is Ravenbeak. It's the guy who beat us up and took all our powers.
It was that first guy, that swole guy.
It was the swole guy who I believe has like a 12-pack. We're going to go fight him. And we're going to do so in not one-hit kill mode because boy, oh boy, do I get hit in this fight.
So Ganon, do you have the shades and your cloak here?
Oh, yes.
And your coat?
At this point, I've recovered my jacket. I've recovered the sunglasses. I can infinitely jump. I have screw attack. I have 275 super missiles. Also, I've become a Metroid before.
Ordinarily, this would have happened immediately after the
So
DNA
that's cool.
Your Thoha genes must have slowed
Whoa,
down the
Metroid
process.
became
They were the
Metroid.
only
By
tribe
Thoha
capable of
genes, there are
controlling the
2 tribes
Metroid.
of Chozo, Thoha, and Mawkin. Mawkin are like a warrior tribe, and Thoha are like a scientist tribe. We have Thoha genes in ourselves that let us control the Metroids.
You are not a Thoha. Your physical
But we're also a pretty
prowess
powerful
suggests that you
warrior, so we must also
possess
be part
Mawkin
Mawkin.
DNA. Metroids are programmed to identify
We are
Mawkin
part
as
warrior and
enemies.
part
This
Mawkin, but we
suggests
know
one
what rhymes
could
with
believe
Mawkin? Pumpkin
it's very
carving, which
possible
is our
that your
actual next
metamorphosis
segment
is
for
the
side
Oh,
quest.
is it?
of Raven
That's
Beast.
super
Yeah,
cool.
we got a nice, good pumpkin carving before we head into
Since
Overdin.
then, your
Nice.
metamorphosis has accelerated. It can no longer be
So now Adam is
controlled.
telling us, look, you are a Metroid. You cannot control this Metroid. You are a threat. You are the threat to the galaxy.
However, there is no
Don't
need
worry.
to fear.
You just have
You
to
can
obey
still
my every
contribute to
order.
galactic peace. You need only use your new
You must
powers
follow my
correctly.
every word, Ganon 11.
You have followed my instructions faithfully so far. Continue to do so. It's that simple. I consider your performance here on TDR highly satisfactory.
By the way,
as I
all of
hope
this is like
it has
incredibly out of
awakened your
character for
Metroid
Adam to
powers.
say.
I was right to let you live during our first encounter.
Also, what does he mean by
That
let us
one
live
glimpse
during
you
our first
showed
encounter?
told me everything. Submit and offer up your power. My plan is the only
Submit.
way to bring order to the galaxy. Fulfill your destiny, Samus. This is an order. Disobedience will not be tolerated.
You know what I have to say to that, Adam? No. It wasn't Adam at all. So every time Adam has communicated with us throughout this game, it's not been Adam, it's been Ravenbeak. Which becomes more obvious kind of in the mid-game when he starts saying things like, you know, accept your helplessness and abandon all hope of defeating the Emmys.
Only a little bit subtle.
Just a bit sus. So anyway, we're at our full powers. Here's Ravenbeak. Let's see how well this goes.
Hey, Ganon,
Yeah,
you got the gravity suit for this fight?
I do.
Well, JR's one donated $10 to make sure you really had the
Gravity
suit for this
suit
fight.
activated. All right. Now we're fighting in full freedom of motion. Even while underwater. All right. We got a melee counter. This guy means business. Look at how big his beam is compared to ours.
Man, he's got big daddy beams.
He does. Oh, that hurt. Okay, good thing we're not on one-hit kill mode anymore, or I'd be dead. Also, we've got the Aeon Shift, which is probably the best ability in the game, and it lets us kind of quickly teleport by using the same Aeon power that the Phantom Cloak uses. We can still get some good melee counters off. So now he's invulnerable to our attacks, I believe. He has like a glowing aura around his armor, and it changes color throughout the fight. And I believe gold means impervious to attacks. But he still does that, which makes him lose his glow, and then we can shoot missiles at his face. Phase 2. We shot off his cloak, but he's a bird, so of course he has wings.
I love how the wings are just non-mechanical.
I mean, he is a bird, right? Like, he's not a robot bird. He is a bird. So it makes sense. I'm using an upgrade called the Storm Missiles here. Basically, they're kind of a weaker form of missiles, but you can lock onto enemies and hit them while still moving. And so it ends up becoming a pretty good way to defeat bosses while still dodging their attacks. Oh, I did not dodge that one, though. Oh, and I didn't dodge that one. Or that one, apparently, even though I thought I had that one. I'm going to try and get off basically just some cheeky attacks while I'm dodging all these super powerful attacks. That even though they can't kill me in one hit, they can probably still kill me in like 4 to 5 hits. This boss is no joke, even on non-dread mode. I am pouring on the damage right now. I'm surprised he's not dead already. right, there we go. Phase 3. Shoot off one of his wings. So,
oh no, he's Sephiroth.
Yeah, now he's a one-winged angel. But he basically says, I don't need my wings to kill you. And he just rips the other one off himself. Oh,
wow, that's
ow.
metal.
Yeah. Ow. I don't think I've seen those attacks before.
Him, honestly.
When I first played this game, I got to him and died in approximately 3 seconds. I said, good lord, there's no way I can beat this guy without 100% of the items. So that is the thing that motivated me to go back and get 100%. I went back and got 100% of the items. Every missile, every energy tank, every energy part, every every power bomb tank. I came back and I fought him, and it did help. This time I survived 15 seconds. Like, this boss is wild. It's just, he's so powerful.
That's pretty good game design too, like incentivizing you to be well prepared for the final encounter.
Well, then even there, like, being prepared wasn't enough. I still had to just learn every pattern. Like, there is no shortcut on this boss. You just need to figure out his patterns. Fortunately, he still does the things that give us melee counters, and that lets us get a bunch of free damage in. And fight over. So this is us activating our Metroid power, but he is still Raven Beak, and he is still stronger than us.
It's the scene from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so just like then, even though we've gained all this experience, even though we've gained all of these upgrades, we're still exactly where we started. He's still got us by a chokehold. His armor's too thick. We can't shoot through it. Can't reach his face to drain his energy with our Metroid powers. And he's saying, look, I deployed the Emmys to try and extract Metroid DNA from you so that I could clone an army of Metroids, but I don't need to. I'll just clone you. He's been able to defeat the X-Parasite. He's slaughtered the rest of the Chozo race. He's basically saying, yeah, I'll just take over the galaxy, and I'm going to make an army of clones of you to do it. And you know what, Frosty? You know how that makes me feel?
How does that make you feel?
So first of all, as Ganon, I agree with what he's saying here. And power is everything. No, it makes me feel very angry. So angry. I'm just the angriest. Have you ever been so angry?
That's a big scream.
Want to talk about how metal this game is? Have you ever become so angry that you just drained the energy of an entire planet, an entire space station? Oh yeah, there's also a thing where he considers us his daughter because he was like a DNA donor. He's the reason we have Mawkin DNA. But he's just a jerk. He ain't no father. We have better father figures. Like Gray Voice.
All 4 of them.
And Old Bird. And even Adam is a better father figure than this. So now we are a Metroid. We don't just like have Metroid powers. We're not just wearing a Metroid suit. We are a Metroid. So now we are the last Metroid, and we are not in captivity.
Would you say you are a Super Metroid?
I would say I'm pretty super. Raven Beak here got absorbed by one of the random X floating around who had also absorbed Kraid. We fought Kraid early in the game, don't worry about it. But being a Metroid, we're kind of done with anything being a challenge. So let's just blast this guy into oblivion. Yeah, no child support, abandoned us for like 30 years, never called, never sent a present, never made it to a softball game. So normally, as you saw from Metroid Fusion, when we defeat a boss and we get a Core X like this, we absorb it to gain their powers, but we don't need any of Raven Beak. We don't need any memory of him. Let's just get out of there. Just evaporate that X. Oh, and also, we drained all the energy from the planets and now it's exploding.
Gotta get out of there.
So we have this big old beam that breaks literally everything, kills every enemy in a single, I'd say hit, but like it's a continuous fire, so it doesn't really register as distinct hits.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
In Dread mode, can you still die in one hit at this point?
I don't know.
That'd be really funny.
You probably noticed that our health bar is gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're running through the last Emmy zone that we did in the game.
Totally did.
This game is super cool and it's absolutely worth you checking it out. I have skipped over probably 90% of this game for this showcase. It is absolutely worth your money. Go buy this game. Go support Mercury Steam. Go tell Nintendo that they should keep making Metroid games, please. There's the jump up. This cool little cutscene as we jump up this hallway. Yeah, now our enemies have chosen Dread mode, so they die in one hit. I dropped my Shine Spark. Unfortunate.
I love how this is like faithful to the old Metroid games where you had to escape in a certain amount of time too.
This is a great Metroid game. Also, we're a Metroid, so we drained the ship of all its energy, so now we can't leave. So that's cool. This is another Chozo that we met earlier. He was a friendly Chozo named Quiet Robe. Then Ravenbeak essentially murdered him. Then his body was taken over by an X-Parasite, so now he's a zombie. But also he's somehow still in control and isn't hostile to us. This is the part of the game that confuses me a lot. Because he very much is an X-Parasite, but he willingly gets absorbed by us. And this fresh injection of Thoha genes gives us control over our Metroid side. Now we can get on out of here.
Are going to be publishing a YouTube video explaining the ending.
It's just going to be me with a big, like, cork board and, you know, red string and things, and she's just going, now look, in the third act, he was... Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't understand that entirely. And that's the final boss and ending sequence of Metroid Dread. This is, like I said, this is the barest smidge of the game. We touched so little of it because we were playing on Dread mode and because we only had an hour. I have about 10 minutes to spare, so I'm going to show off, you know, I'm going to let the credits play. We're going to show off some of the static art you can get for 100%ing the game and 100%ing different areas and finishing it quickly. I love Metroid, and hey, you know what else I love, Frosty? Frosty, do you know what else I love?
What else do you love? Does it start with the G?
I love, well, it starts with the D, but it's donations to Gamers Outreach. Super happy to be supporting them this weekend with side quests, Dampe's Twilight Tour. Again, 100% of your donations go to providing video game controllers or video games themselves or consoles or kind of all the tech and mech stuff to put together like a mobile gaming station that can get wheeled into a hospital room and give a kid half an hour or an hour or 2 hours of playtime either by themselves or maybe with some other friends and just be able to relax and take their mind off of being in a hospital. Super great cause. We're very happy to support it. We've raised over $9,000 this weekend. I'm very impressed with that, but I want to challenge everyone watching here. We can make it over $10,000, and we can do so during the pumpkin carving section coming up or the Oberdin section. Still tons and tons of time and a lot of fun stuff to come up during SideQuest Dampe's Twilight Tour.
We can definitely get that third go-kart funded, and especially I want to see that like before we get to Oberdin in the next hour.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure there's going to be some fun incentives for the pumpkin carving. We still got 8 minutes left in this segment, so I'm gonna, spritz myself for donations of $9.99 or more. Or you know what about just any donation? Any donation, I'll spritz myself, because I filled this bottle up and I spritzed myself like 5 times. We barely made a dent in this thing. We can drain this a little bit more. Make me sweaty.
Can really get the gravity suit activated.
Exactly. Just I'll line this room with like a tarp and I'll just fill it up. I'm not gonna do that. I rent. I don't own.
I'd like to thank Yuichi Ozaki for the audio technical support of this game.
I want to thank Kenji Yamamoto for the original Metroid music. The one negative thing I have to say about this game is the original music for this game, not that great. Not that notable. Other than the credit theme we're hearing here is actually pretty nice. But there's a ton of really good remixes of older Metroid music, and so all of those are fantastic. So, well done to the people who rearranged those tracks. And yeah, the translations are really good. There's a section of this game where Samus speaks in the Chozo language. She says like 2 lines. And her third line is, "Ah!" So, great dialogue from Samus out of this game.
Very high quality character development.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big believer in the fact that Samus, though a silent protagonist in the vast majority of her games, has tons of character. Tons of character.
Tons of character, like you activating the gravity suit with $5 from Vento.
All right, I think we're in gravity mode. I think.
Do you have any Chozo lines to say?
I have not learned the Chozo language. I do think it's cool that her name in Chozo is apparently pronounced Tamus Aran. Like, it's not Samus or Samus, it's Tamus. So that's cool. There's got to be something cool there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, conlangy.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a linguist. I don't know how good this conlang is, and I'm a little bit afraid to ask because my bet is it's bad because most conlangs are bad from a linguistic standpoint. But it's cool that they created a Chozo language for this game, and it's cool that we get to hear Samus speak it. I did learn one other
special things to Nate Bildorf.
Yeah, I did learn one other word in Chozo. Do you want to hear it?
What is the word?
It's
Oh, that is a really good word. I think it translates to donate.
Donate. Yeah, well, it's a very versatile word. It means donate now to Gamers Outreach. We're very happy to support them, and 100% of your donations go to Gamers Outreach. Woo!
Well, we're in the spirit of the Chozo right now. $20 from J Artis. J Artis 1 redeemed Hydrate.
All right, I'm soaked. I'm gonna need to dry myself off before I go get dinner. 5 hours, 5 minutes. We've definitely been here for 5 hours and 5 minutes. Is Chozo on Duolingo yet? No, but someone did put out a like PDF explaining at least the written language. So, we can take a look at some of the extras in this. Basically, for getting 100% of the items in each individual area, you get one of these images that kind of shows what was going on before the start of the game. So here we see Ravenbeak encountering the first Emmy that we saw. And this is the reason why that Emmy was missing an arm, is Ravenbeak just ripped it off of him. Because of course Ravenbeak was too strong for the Emmys. Made of the strongest stuff in the universe, Ravenbeak is stronger than them. Here's them capturing Kraid. Kraid is one of the boss fights in this game. It's a really cool boss fight, and we haven't seen Kraid in a long time, so that was cool to include. And this is all the Chozo warriors capturing Kraid. Here's Quiet Robe, and he's kind of performing some kind of experiment on Corpius. This is the boss that we fought. This is Ravenbeak betraying the Thoha and executing them all, because Ravenbeak's just a great guy. He's just an upstanding bird citizen. More Mawkins defeating the wildlife here. Here's where Ravenbeak finds that one of his soldiers is actually an X-parasite, and so this is going to start an infection that spreads throughout pretty much every Mawkin warrior except Ravenbeak. until we kill him. Here's Quiet Robe showing Ravenbeak. So Ravenbeak keeps Quiet Robe alive so that Quiet Robe can control the Metroids. And here's Quiet Robe saying like, hey, we got these Emmys coming. This seems like a problem, but clearly it wasn't a problem. And yeah, just kind of showing Mawkin supremacy on planet ZDR. And then a cool static art of a lot of the major bosses from the Metroid franchise with Ravenbeak looming high over the background. And then for beating the different endings and the different difficulties in a certain amount of time, you get static art of all the other Metroid games. So we got Zero Mission, Samus Returns, which is the remake that this company also made. Super Metroid, you know Super Metroid, you love Super Metroid. Other M, here they acknowledge Other M, but Nintendo didn't, so we can skip over this one. Metroid Fusion, which we just saw. This is absolutely, by the way, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure meme. It's like, oh, you're approaching me. Well, I can't blast your corpse to smithereens and absorb your Core X if you're not close to me. Oh ho ho! Then approach me. And Metroid Dread. And this is one of the cooler parts of the game. And then another piece of that, another version of that static art, but this time in Zero Suit, because everyone loves Zero Suit Samus.
You may have defeated me, Ganon 11, but you have not won the war. I will see you back.
In Metroid Dread 2! We can only hope. But yeah, that's my showcase of Metroid Dread. Avi is saying, I'm good at convincing you to play games. Good! You should play this game, because it's great. And play the rest of the games and pester Nintendo to give us more information on Metroid Prime 4. Please. Please. I want it. I need Metroid.
One final gravity suit activation, Ganon, from Pink Penguin. Great game. Thank you very much for your 10:30 to Gamers Outreach.
All right. I think that's going to do it, because we've got less than 60 seconds left before my sequence ends, and I want to get you all to the pumpkin decorating section before too long. So, Frosty, thank you so much for being here. Anything you want to say to end the segment?
Donate to Gamers Outreach. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, keep going during the break. There's probably going to be some commercials. There's going to be some cool music. Stick with us. We're going to be back with pumpkin carving and, of course, the rest of Side Quest, Dampe's Twilight Tour after the break. See ya.